Ah, dang, I'm tired. Alright, so, turn my radio down. Today we are going to be installing, well, not installing, we're going to be moving my oil cooler. I'm going to try and, we're going to make a shot at moving my oil cooler. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I plan on doing it. My name is Zach Ellis, and welcome to my journey. I don't know where I'm going or how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to be tearing shit up every step of the way, along with a few friends, of course. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be building, modifying, repairing, fabricating, and racing every chance I get. Terrifying. But if you enjoy this content, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and of course, enjoy the video. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm not sure if it's even going to fit with the length of the hoses, but my attempt is going to be to take it from its location in the front wheel well, put it up in the grill off to the right side or left side, I guess. I guess it doesn't matter what side I put it on. I'm going to put it wherever I can get it to go with the length of the hoses the way they are currently. So we're going to kind of mess around with it, fiddle with it a little bit. Alright, so we're out here, just got to the garage. I've got to still jack the car up, which I'm not going to film all that. But like I said earlier, the whole plan of today is to try and move that oil cooler, at least see if I'll be able to move the oil cooler. Hopefully I have everything I need. I may have to go pick up my riv nut kit. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's a rivet, but also threaded in the center. So you would crimp it like a rivet into a piece of metal, and then you can thread a bolt right into it. That might be my cleanest option for mounting this thing. At least the cleanest and most long term. Maybe not the simplest, but either way, I'm gonna go ahead, get this thing jacked up, start moving the bumper, and we can kind of look at what we have, what we need, if we need anything, and hopefully make this happen today. That would be nice. Alright, so we got the bumper off. Before I removed it completely, I was looking at the clearance from the crash bar radiator to the grill on the front of the bumper. It is tight. I may have to slide, instead of mounting it here to here, I might have to slide it center a little bit more, which isn't a real big deal. So the bumper, it kind of comes right across here on the radiator, so even if it was all the way over, it wouldn't make a huge difference. But I don't think the hoses are going to be long enough. For those of you that don't remember, this is where I mounted the oil cooler the first time. I will link that in the description if you guys want to watch how I installed this, so removing the stock oil cooler, putting in the sandwich plate, things like that. If that's what you're trying to figure out how to do, watch the other video. It will help get you that information. Today we're just relocating, or attempting to relocate. So I have it here. It does all right, but it could be better. So I'm going to see about just unbolting it where it is, moving it underneath here, and then just hanging it up here. The first thing I got to do is see if these hoses are long enough. If they are not long enough, I'm going to have to order new hoses and create my own, make them as long as I need to, which would be ideal, probably the correct thing to do, but I don't feel like doing that. So we're going to try and do it this way. These hoses are not leaking. I have absolutely no issues with these hoses right now, so I'm going to try and make something happen with what I got. So I'm going to go ahead, unbolt this, and just simply move it around to the front, and hopefully it is at least sitting in the grill. You almost can't see it. Now obviously with the hoses attached to it, you'll be able to notice it a little bit more. But like I said, on the fitting right behind the crosshairs, it sticks out a little bit, but you really can't see it in there. So if I run a hose straight down from there, you would almost never see it. Even if I took a 90, it's still going to plummet almost behind this crosshair. Same with this side. So this might be the place that I run it. I'm debating on whether or not I want to replace the hoses regardless of if they fit or not, and or if I want to upgrade the oil cooler itself. I have no issues with this oil cooler. It works very well. But while I'm in here, do I just order a Mishimoto? I even think they're on sale for like $100 right now. So, got some decisions to make. If the Mishimoto is a little thinner, I may just try to run it, because this one is 1.5 inches thick or so. So I gotta kind of figure that out. But I could even run a larger one, which covers more area. I want to say the bigger oil cooler would be cool and a little more efficient, but the issue is the intercooler needs more air passing through it than the oil cooler does. And the only reason I say that is because with this oil cooler in the wheel well, it was operating, I won't say 100% efficient because there wasn't great air flow through there, but it was working well enough for the situations that I was in. So for me to run a larger one in the grill doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It would be more of a like fashion statement or whatever, to be like, hey, I got an oil cooler. I'm gonna go ahead and rerun these lines, see if I can get them to fit up here in the center. If I can, I'll make a decision then if I'm gonna upgrade the oil cooler and or the hoses if I need to, and we'll go from there. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I got it to fit. No extra fittings or anything. This here is kind of a monstrosity. It looks fucking horrible, but it's because I tried to run just this 90 straight to the fitting and delete this extra 90, and it didn't fit. It was like 1 inch short, so it was very, very close. I even thought about maybe putting a spacer to drop this thing down 1 inch on both sides, but I think it's kind of pointless. I'd rather just remake this hose at a later date to make it work. But for now, it seems like I can just go ahead and secure this oil cooler right here and run it like this. Obviously, this hose is hanging super low, and that looks kind of shitty. I will fix that. But on this side, it's almost perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw the bumper up to see what it looks like with the bumper on, and we'll get this thing installed. So there it is in the grill. It doesn't look terrible. Luckily the ugly fitting setup that I have here is kind of secured. You can't really see it too much, which is nice. I wish it was run like this, just a 90 straight out on both sides, but either way, it doesn't look terrible. And the cool thing too is, even though it's off center, it's not secure, so when I come back with the rib nut kit, I'll decide if I want to move it to the center more or left more, or what I want to do to try and get it off of this grill here. If you're like one of those people that is super particular and you want everything symmetrical, this will make you want to kill yourself because it's not even close to being symmetrical, but that's alright. That's not my problem, that's your problem. Damn, I'm kind of excited. I have heard people talk about oil coolers being mounted upside down like this isn't good because they drain. So when you fill the engine up with oil and you run it for a minute to get the oil circulated, when you turn the car off to go to check the oil level again, they say that the oil will drain back out of this and give a false reading on the dipstick. So your car's always low on oil. But I've also heard that it doesn't make a fucking difference. So I guess we'll, I don't know. Trial and error, I guess. If I blow my engine up, I guess we'll know that this is a bad idea. If I don't blow my engine up, we'll know that this doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to go ahead, pull the bumper off, and get this thing mounted up. I picked up my riv nut kit. For those of you that don't know what a riv nut kit is, basically you use this tool, which is the installation tool, riv nut gun, whatever you want to call it. You use this to install this, which is a riv nut. A riv nut is just a rivet that you put into the metal. You clamp it with that and it pinches this little insert into the metal so you can thread things into it. We're going to be installing this little fitting into the metal here on both sides, and that's how we're going to secure this to this bar. So I'm going to go ahead, get this removed. I'm going to actually slide the oil cooler over about an inch to help prevent this from contacting the grill, and then we'll get this all buttoned up. Alright, we got everything tightened up. All the fittings are tight. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to set the camera up here in front, bump the car over a few times. I'll probably start it right away, but kill it immediately to try and get oil cycled through the whole entire cooler again. And we'll go from there. I did go ahead and pour oil down each hose on each end to try and get as much fluid in there as possible. So go ahead, hop inside and fire her up. Alright, you can see the car is running. It is holding oil well. There's no leaks yet. Well, there's no leaks, I shouldn't say yet. It is working. Let's see. So this hose is 100. Somewhere in that range. So it is pumping oil through it. It's getting up to temperature, which is good. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I'm gonna go ahead, let this thing get fully up to temperature. Once it's up to temperature, I'll kill the car. I will secure all the hoses on the underside, and then we will throw the bumper on and take it for a real quick test spin just to make sure that we don't make any leaks from driving just with this thing moving at all. Even though it's relatively secure, you just never know. I want to test it before I go ripping down the highway or taking it out racing. I thought I had leaks from these two joints right here, this one and this one, but it seems like they were just weeping a little bit right at the initial start. Now that it's running and idling, it's fine. There's no more leaking at all. So, like I said, we'll let this thing get up to temperature, and then we will secure the lines and take it for a test run. We're gonna go ahead, take this thing for a quick test run and see see how she does, make sure it doesn't get any leaks. I'll probably ride it out to the end of the street, stop, check it real quick, then press on a little further, really romp on it while keeping an eye on the oil pressure and temperature, and bring her back as long as everything's smooth. Check it out real quick. Looks good. No leaks. I only got up to about 3,500 RPM there, so we'll try to get a few red line hits and check her again, see what it says. I love this car. Dude just looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I think the speed limit's like 30. I was on. Whoops. This thing's quick. Money, dude. We are good to go. No leaks. It's not even weeping, so that's good. That is a mission success. I wasn't even paying attention to oil temperatures. The engine oil, or engine temp, is coolant temp, Jesus. The coolant temp is 200 degrees. The coolant temp is 200 degrees right now, and the oil temp is 200 degrees, so that is good. Granted, I will say it's not the hottest day out right now, but the oil cooler being in the grill is as good of a location as it's ever going to get. It's a little obstructed by the crosshairs, but it's way better than what it was yesterday. So I'm happy with it. All right, so just idling here, looking at the oil temp, it has not even reached 210 degrees. Even when ripping on it back to back to back, it wouldn't get past, it's like at 200 right now, and it's not going any higher, which is good. I know in the past, I've seen temperatures almost 240 degrees, so you're talking a 30 plus degree difference already. Now, again, it's not that hot out today. If it was 98 degrees and fucking 80% humidity like it was the last month, maybe that will differ. I'll keep an eye on it for future just to see if it does end up dropping at all. But for right now, it seems to be holding true and having no issues. Well, that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something from it. Kind of give you some ideas of what you want to do to your car or could potentially do to your car. It looks pretty good in there. It's pretty level from what I can tell. Not that I'm the best at telling levelness, but I'm happy with the way it came out. I'm happy with the function. It's not leaking or anything. So, I mean, what more could you really ask for? So we're all finished with it. It's installed. It looks good in there. functions like it should. From the little bit of driving that I've done, it seems like it's working a little more efficiently than it was in the wheel well, which is always the positive, which was the whole purpose of me doing this today. I got lucky from the time that I originally installed this, which I can link in the video here like I did earlier, to now. I did not need to add any additional items like any 90s or straight fittings or any additional hoses. All the hoses worked just like before. Now, obviously I have a custom crash bar, so this isn't going to be super useful to everybody, but at least you know now with a front mount, you could potentially fit the oil cooler in the front as well. I can't say if it's going to work with an MPX front mount intercooler or not, because I know they make the low profile crash bar. It could potentially, but there is a very tight clearance between the front of the intercooler and the back side of the bumper. Everything that I'm trying to do right now is just without modifying the bumper. I don't want to cut the bumper at all, which has been a trend throughout. Even with my tow hook, which was one of the big reasons for the crash bar, was so I could attach the tow hook without cutting the bumper at all. People are like, yeah, just cut a hole and put it right into your frame horn. Yeah, I could do that, and I might do it in the future, but for now, I feel happier not cutting into it. So, other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe this gives you some ideas, maybe you learned something. Either way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.